Good everyone, welcome to my channel. On today's tutorial, we're taking some multiple choice question under the topic Physiology of the Blood Cell. Our first question goes like this. The process of coagulation is basically divided into how many pathways? The process of coagulation is classically divided into how many pathways? What do you think the answer is? What do you think the answer is? It's a very simple question. So by now, if you have gotten your answer, the answer to this question is A. The answer is A. We have three pathways. Now, what are the three pathways? The first pathway is the intrinsic pathway, second is the extrinsic pathway, and the third one is the final common pathway. Number 2, which of the following is the function of the white blood cell? A. Transport oxygen. B. Maintain hemostasis. C. Defend against infection. D. Produce hemoglobin. Which of the following is the function of the white blood cell? The answer to this question is C. Defend against infection. This A that we have here, this A we have here is carried out by the red blood cell. Secondly, maintain hemostasis. Hemostasis can be maintained by all the blood cells when they are working together. But as for production of hemoglobin, it doesn't have to do. Cells do not produce hemoglobin. It's produced somewhere else in the body. Number 3. An increased white blood cell count is indicative of which disease? A. Lupus. B. Leukemia. C. Anemia. D. Melanoma. D. Melanoma. So what do you think is the answer? A. Lupus. B. Leukemia. C. Anemia. D. Melanoma. The right answer to this question is B. Leukemia. Number 4. Platelets are formed from what type of cell? Platelets, which are the thrombocytes, are formed from what type of cell? A. Melanocytes. B. Macrophages. C. Astrocytes. D. Megakaryocytes. What do you think is the answer to this question? It's a very simple question. By now, if you've gotten your answer, the right answer to this question is D. Megakaryocyte. Number 5. Where does haematopoiesis take place? A. Lung. B. Pancreas. C. Liver. D. Bone marrow. Where does haematopoiesis take place? The right answer to this question is D. It's the bone marrow. Now, what they are asking you here, this is in case you haven't heard of the term before. This term, haematopoiesis, what they're simply asking you is where is blood produced? Where is blood made in the body? So the blood that runs through your vein, the blood cells to be precise, are produced in the bone marrow. In the bone marrow of big bones. Just think of the big bones in your body, like the head of the femur. It's a very good example. The head of the femur. Blood cells are produced right there. Hematopoiesis is the production of all cellular components of the blood and blood plasma. It occurs within the hematopoietic system, which includes organs and tissues such as bone marrow, liver, and the spleen. The bone marrow is where the blood is produced. The spleen is where um, um, blood cells, mainly red blood cells, when they are worn out, when they have reached their full life, is in the spleen that they are destroyed. So if they ask you a question, where or what is the graveyard in the blood, or the graveyard of blood cells, is the spleen, while the liver also does some form of destruction on its own, a little bit. Number 6, the formation of a blood clot is known as which of the following? A. Coagulation. B. Hemostasis. C. Leukopoiesis. D. Erythropoiesis. The formation of a blood clot is known as which of the following? A. Coagulation. B. Chemotaxis. C. Leukopoiesis. D. Erythropoiesis. The right answer to this question is A. Coagulation. Yes, when take for instance, you have a little cut in your skin or on one of your blood vessels, so your blood starts to clot in order to prevent excess loss of blood, and in so doing, this process is called coagulation. This is how the blood looks like when it's inside the vessel of the body. Let me show you something now. Yes, all this you're seeing here, they are different cells. Now this structure you see here that goes on, that's the wall of the vessel, depending on the kind of vessel we have here. Now, next thing we have number 7, which of the following statements about erythrocytes is correct? Which of the following statement about erythrocyte is correct? A. They fight infection. B. They clot blood. C. They lack a nucleus. D. They are produced in the spleen. So which is correct? Which is the right answer? So the right answer here is C. Erythrocytes, which are the red blood cells, they lack nucleus, especially the matured red blood cell. I wrote here, the matured red blood cells do not produce nucleus while the premature does. Now, in the process of erythropoiesis, I think I saw that term somewhere. Yeah, this is a term. Let me write it for you. In the process of erythropoiesis, it has to do with the production of red blood cells. So in this process, at the initial stage, the red blood cell actually has a nucleus, but as time goes by, the nucleus reduces in size until it gets lost completely. Number 8, the hormone erythropoietin stimulates the red blood cell production in the red bone marrow, where in the body is erythropoietin produced. Okay. A. Spleen. B. Kidney. C. Liver. D. Thyroid. That's the thyroid gland. Where in the body is erythropoietin produced? So the right answer to this question is B. In the kidney. Number 9. What will happen to red blood cell if the heme group was removed from hemoglobin? A. Red blood cell will not be able to bind oxygen. B. Red blood cell would not be able to reproduce. C. White blood cell would not be able to reproduce. D. Blood clot formation will be inhibited. The right answer to this, it can be D, because hemoglobin is on the red blood cell, and the red blood cell does not carry out blood clotting. No, C obviously wrong. The right answer here is A. Now the heme group, as they wrote here, this heme group is the iron part of red blood cell. Number 10. Which of the following white blood cell is capable of phagocytosis? A. Basophil, B. eosinophil, C. Lymphocyte, D. Erythrophil. What is the right answer? Which of the following white blood cell is capable of phagocytosis? The right answer to this question is D. The neutrophils. So the white blood cells are of 5 types. We have the ones that are granular and ones that are non-granular. So if you break down these two, granular and non-granular, and list them out, you have the neutrophil, like we said, the eosinophil, the basophil, the monocyte, and the lymphocytes.